Welcome back to Outriders. We have some good news, but I'm also going to do a me and put a negative spin on it too, because that's what I do. However, for the most part, it is a positive, and for everyone that got wiped, if they do this successfully, you're in for a good time. But there's just one opinion that I have that throws this off completely. So, they have put news, finally, they've tweeted after 4 days, and they said, with the patch having successfully deployed and continuing to prevent any further complete inventory wipes, which is not true by the way, there are still a couple of people here and there being wiped. So it's not completely fixed, but it is in a much better state than what it was previously. They've said that these notes, I'll link all this in the description, they are TLDRs, so you can click on the link and you can check more. Basically for the appreciation package is going to be implemented into the game, so everyone's going to get that once the restoration has been completed. Stadia are finally going to get an update. It says that's going to release in the week of April 26th, so almost a month later, and Stadia will get their very first update. They are working on more patches, they're working on more balancing. I mean, I'm hoping it's not the case of just more nerfs because it's easier. But then we have the details about the restoration. Items granted will have the same attribute combinations. So basically, if you had firepower, close range damage, skills, life leech. If that was on your gear, that's exactly what you'll get, but it will be god roll values. So everyone that's been wiped, when you get your stuff back, the attributes will have god roll values. That's a guarantee from what they have said. It does say it means that these items will be at least the same, if not better quality than the originally lost items, which is all good. Items will be granted at the character's highest available equip level, taking world tiers and challenge tiers into consideration. My problem with this, the negative that I mentioned right at the start of the video, because it's not actually like a negative towards this sort of thing, but them giving god roll values is what they should do. That shouldn't be something they, obviously highlight it, let people know, but that shouldn't be, oh look, we're giving you your stuff back and god roll values on it. They shouldn't be making that like an exciting thing to read, because they should be doing that on a mandatory sort of basis, because this should have never happened in the first place. That's my only gripe with it, is the fact that they've mentioned it's all going to be god roll values, which is obviously amazing for the people that lost their stuff, but at the same time it should never have happened to begin with. So this is how it's going to work. There is 3 groups, Group A, B and C. C, players haven't lost gear. B, they've not got an invalid inventory, but they have lost gear. So they still, they had a wipe, but not a complete inventory wipe. And then Group A is the most important, unplayable characters because of the couldn't connect to server thing when you get wiped, and the completely invalid inventory. So the restoration for Group C, there's no restoration required, nobody lost any items. For Group B, up to 20 legendary items that were in your inventory, and all fully completed accolades will be restored. That's all that's going to happen for Group B. So if characters lost gear, but they were still playable characters, they may have continued playing on the characters since the wipe. These cases are far more difficult to conclusively identify, but they're fewer in number. So if you fall under Group B, you didn't have a complete wipe, your character was still playable, you'll get up to 20 legendary items that were in your inventory. That is it. Besides your accolades, obviously. And then the Group A restoration. So this is the people, they lost gear and their characters were no longer playable. They couldn't connect to the servers, or that's the error they had when logging in. Most affected players will fall into this group. All items, regardless of rarity, that were equipped at the time of your inventory wipe. So whether you were a level 5, 10, 20, 30 character, whatever you had equipped on your character, green, white, blue, purple, legendary, whatever, all that stuff is coming back. Non-legendary items. 20 previously acquired items that were in your inventory with first prioritization based on rarity, so going down from epic to blue, green, then white, and second prioritization based on date acquired. So if you were farming, you had 30 purples in your inventory. Only the first 20, like your most recent 20, will be restored. Anything else is not coming back. I don't understand why they're doing it like this, how they're doing it like this, or whatever, but the good thing to come from it is at least people are getting their stuff back whenever this happens. So if you have been farming, you've got yourself an inventory, you've got yourself a character full of blues equipped, all that stuff will come back. Then with your inventory, if you've got it all full of blues and purples, only the 20 previously acquired items, so the 20 most recent items you had, will go back. So if you had this really amazing purple weapon of some sort, but you had 20 items prior to that in your inventory, you're not getting that weapon back. But then moving on, all fully completed accolades will be restored if you previously reached the final tier of that said accolade. So if there's an accolade with 5 tiers, you only got to tier 4, you're not having that restored. And then we move on to when the restoration will be run. They said we had hoped to provide an exact date for this today, but we do need a bit more time to make sure that the process is running precisely as intended. When running operations of this scale on our database, we want to ensure that there are no instances where a restoration could have a continued significant negative effect on individual players or the population as a whole. Nevertheless, we are working to an ASAP schedule and fully understand how disappointing it is to not yet have your items back today. To help explain the complexities, there is a link you can click. It takes you to like their reply or whatever, so there's just further details and it explains exactly how they did stuff. But they're running this restoration based on level of importance. So your legendary's most important thing for characters, even though there are purples, you can even get a green weapon with a god roll stat on it. You can level it up and that's a really strong weapon to use. But they're doing it based on the rarities in the game and the most important, and they're scaling it down from that. So legendaries, they will all come back. Then from your purples, your blues, your greens and everything, it'll be your 20 most recent items that come back. So people will still lose stuff from this, especially those that are a lower level. They are doing something, but that doesn't excuse the mess that they created in the first place. This should never have happened. I don't know if this is because of a bug the developers never ironed out of the game. I don't know if it's based on servers being dodgy. But even though it's all good for the players getting their stuff back, it's bad that it happened in the first place. And I do find it weird how they can't give everyone everything back. They should have just made it so that they can roll back characters so that the wipes were even fixed a lot faster than what they're telling us now. Because it's not a guarantee you're even going to get your stuff back this week. They're working on an ASAP, but there might be some problems that come up in the meantime. So it's mainly positive because everyone getting their stuff back is going to have god roll values on it. Although I do think the mods and everything are going to be random. I don't think your mods are coming back. I think it's just the attribute combinations, like having god roll values. I don't think the mods are coming back how they were. But at the end of the day, your characters are going to be playable. You can actually get back into the game. Although I still would be a little bit skeptical and wary because it could possibly happen again. You never ever know what's going to happen. It's taken them forever to sort this out because there's no bug fixes or anything in the pipeline for... It literally says here, our team's working hard to continue on upcoming patches to address a variety of bugs. More news on these soon. Soon gives no time frame at all. And then with balancing, we haven't forgotten your feedback on previous balance changes, they call it, but nerfs. And it says we'll share an update with you in the near future. So we could be talking weeks or possibly even months away for any of the stuff that's broken in the game to get fixed. But I am glad they've prioritised the restoration. That is getting done, so people will be able to get back to the game and get grinding and stuff again. But as I said, be careful. Check all your gear. Make sure it's all works properly, because if not, I'm pretty sure you can file a ticket. I don't know if they'll do anything with the tickets and stuff that get submitted on their websites and their support pages and stuff, but you never know. The only thing we can do at the moment is wait for this restoration to happen and see what happens with it. But on that note, that's going to do it for the video. Let me know your thoughts and stuff in the comments. I'll see you in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed it.